Welcome on in, everybody. Happy Monday. Thank you so much for being here. We're getting right into draft. The preseason is upon us. We don't have Riot capabilities, so we can't roll back the patches that the previous matches were played on. The game is completely different, and myself, 4x4, and my broadcast partner today, Mr. Thiv, will be here to take you all the way through it. Akuma versus World Class. Mr. Thiv, how you living, man?
I am living well, my friend. No, I'm doing pretty good. I'm excited to get into this one. I'm also excited to, like you mentioned, cast with the with all the changes to the items and things. That's gonna be really exciting. I mean, first of all, I'm just excited to see like what these players prioritize, and what kinds of things. Because obviously, I think like everyone has a different view on how the game should be played and what fits your own play style. And so when big changes come in like this, it's always exciting to see like how people kind of put their own spin on it or how they interpret the changes.
Yeah, no, and right now I think it is just kind of figuring out the players define the meta and the meta defines kind of the players to a degree. Things like Victor that is first picked here by Akuma Claymores, the 6th seed in the playoffs. Here we're in the losers semifinals against World Class on the red side. They are the 8th seed, but right now it feels like they've been playing a lot better. They're going to take the Akali Amumu. The R1, R2. Now, Victor and Amumu have kind of been wreaking havoc on the Rift in the preseason.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you did mention though that I think Sunfire just got hotfix nerfed, or Bomby Cinder just got hotfix nerfed. So that while that does probably take away at least a little bit of what makes Amumu so strong, yeah, these are two champions that have been performing extremely well. Akali also I think has been really, really good. We see the Hecarim, the Swain. I mean, these are all just very consistently high win rate champions on this patch. So I think both teams just kind of going by what seems to be working right now, given the new items. Generally looking for like beefier team fighty comp on both sides. I really like the Hecarim, though. I wanted to talk about it a little more because I was talking to you about it before we even got into the cast. Like I mean, he's still just incredibly strong, right? The items are nice. There are certain items that help him, but the main thing about this preseason as well, there were huge changes to the items. There weren't actually many changes in the jungle, which usually is something that always happens during preseason. They'll change around XP values or spawn timers or things like that, but none of that has changed. Like there was a slight reshuffling of gold on Krugs, and like Gromp heals you a little bit, but other than that, it's the exact same jungle. So those same sort of power farming, heavily scaling junglers like Hecarim, like Nidalee that were good before are still going to be very, very strong. So I do like to see it. I'm interested if he's going to go with the Phase Rush or the Conqueror. I think there's a decent argument to be made for both right now, and it kind of depends on the enemy team. But yeah, we'll have to see. Akali Amumu Heimerdinger, I mean, it's quite a bit of magic damage, and it's a pretty specific setup of champions that don't work too great together. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that first round there?
My initial thought is that I believe, looking at the chat here, I think it is Maokai instead of Heimerdinger. Is what I
okay. So, okay, that would make quite a bit more sense. Yeah.
But otherwise, I mean, kind of what I'm what I'm seeing is Swain is always, he was a power pick at the end of last season, but also Akuma, they, and again, take data from previous games, data from last season with not even a grain of salt, like the whole block, the one
just a whole lot of salt.
Right, a whole lot of salt. There's only so much you can tell, but the Swain is something that I know that Akuma likes to play. Little baby cutie, he likes to play more roaming kind of facilitatory mid laners. Not that Swain can't be a hard carry. I've been in plenty of game where Swain just takes over. But Revnon up top, he is kind of the focal point, and he likes to play a power pick top laner. So it'll be interesting to see if it goes Swain bot. I mean, with Victor, it's probably telegraphed Swain bot more. But look at Revnon.
I don't know. I think. Yeah, so I just to cut in, like doing some digging on the like on solo queue, which again we want to take everything with a grain of salt. But to me, it looks like Bodast has actually been playing the Victor bot, and I think Little Baby Cutie has been playing a decent amount of Swain mid. So I think like that would be my initial guess. And yeah, like you said, Revnon loves to go for the Darius, the Urgot, the Garen, the Set. Those kinds of champions in the top lane, and I think Darius works. I'm not sure why you wouldn't just go Set instead. I feel like in a competitive setting, Set just he does the same thing but better, right? Or in like an organized play setting, right? In these games where it's a 5v5 and you can actually communicate with your team to set up team fights and do things like that, I think it makes a lot more sense to just pick the Set. But I guess one big part of Set's power in draft is that he's so flexible. So if the enemy team already knows you're going for a top laner, then I guess you maybe want to do that, but I don't know. I mean, even the flexibility seems like it would have played into AKC's draft quite a bit, because then you're really left guessing where Set, Swain, and Victor are going to go. But they went with the Darius, probably more for comfort than for anything else. And it's going to be Lucian R5 to round out World Class's draft, in which, again, so Lucian Nautilus is okay. I think that you can really punish the Swain Alistar. I think that's why the Lucian came in so late here. And so I'm interested to see if their bot lane can do that, because Swain Alistar does not sound very promising early on, to be honest, against the Lucian Nautilus.
Yeah, no, and I think the one saving grace would be, I mean, Nautilus is as good a support as they come these days. And with even something that we were talking about, if we can get into it a little bit here, I think, yeah, this Swain in general, I mean, it could be Swain Maokai, right, or Swain Alistar rather, could be the Victor Alistar, as you were kind of talking about. But given Lil Baby Cutie's comfort on Swain and the fact that he really hasn't changed at all, I think we'd see him in the mid lane. And Victor is just a power pick right now that you put into any half capable hands, and you can make some magic happen. And that, I think, is just with that range, you can abuse Lucian's range a little bit. You can abuse how committal Nautilus engages are, but Lucian is mobile, and I think this is going to be a primarily defensive lane for Akuma.
Yeah. I mean, thank you for catching me there. I literally just said that Victor is probably going bot, and then I talked about Swain bot.
That's where he usually goes. I think you and I were in a game. Were you in the game where Swain was played bot?
Yeah, I mean, I've certainly seen more Swain bot in general than I've seen Victor, but that's also because Swain can be played as a support, I think, as well, to decent success. So you're more, you're twice as likely to see him in the bot lane from that alone. But anyway, getting back to the point, yeah, I think that Victor will definitely have a lot easier of a time against the Lucian than Swain might. So that's definitely true. Yeah, he's probably going to be playing on the back foot, and Dark Lord Matthew is almost certainly just going to be roaming around and looking to help get either the Darius or the mid lane ahead, as well as just kind of running around with Hecarim, because Hecarim can really abuse Amumu in the early portions of the game. And I mean, almost any jungler can, like, let's be real, but Hecarim can really just get into his jungle, take camps really quickly. If he has the support of the Alistar and they're roaming as a squad of two, I mean, there's really nothing that Amumu and Nautilus are going to be able to do against them if they find them in the enemy jungle and they have priority. So yeah, I'm interested to see how Matthew kind of looks to enable his presence on the map, because this is something, it's a little bit of a tangent, but I think it's worth talking about, because again, the jungle hasn't changed. Like the power farming style and keeping your camps on cooldown so that you're constantly leveling them up to get more XP from them and further your lead over the enemy jungler. Like, that's still fundamentally the way that the jungle works. And so that informs a lot about how you want your support to play as well. Because, when laning phases are so much more open, because you're going to expect less jungler ganks on average, especially pre-6, especially during the first clears, because junglers are going to be doing full clears. They're only going to want to shadow when they can, or when laners absolutely need it. And so the support kind of becomes in that early game, especially like before your jungler hits level 6, the support actually becomes almost a pseudo jungler, especially if you're playing something like Alistar or Bard that are enabled to roam. You really want to be all over the map if you can afford to leave your bot laner alone, because you can get a lot done with some unexpected ganks or just putting pressure when the jungler can't, and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with everything you said, and to kind of further that point and just kind of round it out, Amumu, he's my favorite champion in the world, but he didn't get popular because the jungle changed, right? He got popular because, whether it was Cinder Hulk or just, Sunfire Cape back in the day before the jungle items were a thing, that is an item that he loves to build. and he jumped to where he is right now in the solo queue win rates because of changes to the game outside of the jungle, because of items. It's
Mhm.
not like, ganking junglers still have a place, of course, and player comfort with two different styles is going to make a difference. Hopefully, that gets less so as you get higher in skill. But even as we saw as recently as Worlds, people are just straight up better at playing one style or the other.
Yeah.
That being said, you're right. Kind of just looking at it broad strokes, that is still the way the game, to use a maybe loaded phrase, should be played.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's nothing has changed enough to where that part of the meta falls apart. That's just still a fact of the way the game works right now, and the way that the jungle camps work right now. I will say about Amumu though, again, I don't know with the new numbers on Bomby Cinder, but he did, we're talking a lot about how farming as a jungler is so important. I mean, he did get a buff to that with the increased damage on Bomby Cinder. I mean, again, that just got nerfed, like hotfix nerfed, so that it's brought back down a little bit, brought back into line. But his AOE clear is actually much faster than it used to be, so that helps his case a lot as well.
Yeah, no, and he can, and I think at this point the only threat that he really has is the Hecarim, which is stronger than ever. I mean, he wasn't reliant on those kinds of busted items beforehand, and now, and something we can get into more on the other side of the breaks, we do have to go to that pretty quick, is item interactions and the more synergistic effects that Riot seems to have put into that much more intentionally. And Hecarim is not to excuse the pun, but really reaping the benefits of those right now. So with that, we're going to take a quick break. The losers quarter, or losers semis, I should say, between Akuma, Claymores, and World Class Esports on the blue and red sides, respectively. The best of three will kick off right when we come back. Don't go anywhere. What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for being here. The losers semifinals, the best of three, kicking off in the Risen Divine League to wrap up the fall split. Take everything you thought you knew about these two teams and the game in general, and maybe don't throw it all out the window, but put it on the ledge and, just have it ready to tip over just in case. These two teams facing off here, the 8th seed on the blue side, or rather the 8th seed on the, the 8th seed on the blue side, Akuma Claymores, or no, that's the first thing. 8 seed World Class on the red side, Akuma, nice. The 6th seed. But World Class have faced, and again, this was all before the game got turned on its head, but World Class faced tougher competition coming back up through the losers bracket and disposed of them a lot quicker, including taking down Soulbound Mirage, who was one of the better teams in the regular season. Meanwhile, Akuma, they worked their way through the same bracket. They've won and lost the same amount of series. But my money would be on World Class on momentum alone. And that's the thing, Mr. Thiv. That's about all we can go off of is momentum. Sure, there's a certain amount of comfort, but as far as the team and the way it likes to play is concerned, some things stay the same, some things change.
Yeah, most definitely. And momentum is something that, like you said, I think we can reasonably rely on, and that's as solid a reason as any to give them the edge here. In terms of what's been happening in the game, real quick, not too much. We just had a deep ward put down by the WCG bot lane that will be able to spot out Hecarim's pathing, make sure that Amumu stays safe, make sure that Yes Hi It's Me knows where and when he might be getting invaded as Hook lands.
Hook does land there onto Dark Lord. Usually you wait until level 2 to really double that up, get the W reset on the auto. But look, you're still Nautilus, you still have that hook, and you can still be really oppressive with your passive. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, you're Nautilus Lucian. You're winning that trade if you land a hook every time, even at level 1. So no problems there. As you can see, Victor being zoned off of the CS as well a little bit. And like we said, I mean, that's going to be they're going to be on the defensive side for a while in that lane. But I kind of wanted to talk now that I've had some time to actually think about it and not be just overwhelmed by trying to think too much about what the new items could mean for drafts and things like that. As we do get a pause, but
so you got all the time in the world.
Yeah, I get to actually talk about. I just want to talk about the team comps because I think there are some fundamentals just like the jungles in this preseason. There are some fundamentals of the game that remain the same, and the way that two team compositions will play into each other has largely remained the same. Again, with a few exceptions on there's some new gap closing items and whatnot that you might start a fight with, but besides that, generally these are still the same champions. And what I'm seeing is 5 champions that can essentially abuse low ranged or melee champs on the side of AKC, and you have a lot of low ranged or melee champs on the other side of the rift there. So I think that from just a compositional standpoint, not taking into account execution, if we're thinking about the 5v5s later on, yes, there's a lot of CC and lockdown. I mean, Nautilus, Maokai, and Mumu is actually obscene in terms of how much AoE CC there is. But if that wombo doesn't happen, or even one of these bruisers avoids that wombo combo and avoids being stacked up, then literally any of the carries on Akuma Claymores can just absolutely ravage a stacked team fight. So yeah, we'll have to see. Yeah, we'll have to see how it goes. But I definitely think that in terms of the later stage team fights, it's the advantage has to go to Akuma Claymores.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with you there. Like you said, there is so much potential, right? And to be fair, right, you said, let's take aside execution for a second, because that is going to be where World Class's comp is going to have to rely on. It's a lot of really powerful picks as well. Yeah. Never mind the AoE CC, but Akali and Lucian can either one of them take over games with different damage types. So it's not like they don't have options. It's not like they totally hold themselves, but it's going to come down to execution. And the jungle match, we haven't seen too much spice out of it just yet. Atlas is in the opposing jungle, but like you said, that deep ward, it is about keeping Amumu safe because, even though those Bombi Cinders nerf did in fact come through, we double checked that. The Hotfix nerf came in today. But he's still strong, and if he gets kicked out of this game, it's all going to go downhill. So keeping him safe is a priority.
Yeah, most definitely. And yeah, Atlas was actually, I mean, he wasn't even really counter jungling. He is now, but before he was just waiting on the camp respawn timer, maybe looking to dive falling if if a situation arose, but it didn't turn out to be the case. But yeah, I mean, this is just what you expect your Hecarim to be doing. Now, I will say that I think it's a little weird that he didn't go for the full clear. Hold that thought.
Good punish there by Dark Lord Matthew, but Osama going into just trade the damage right back. The hook didn't land, but again, just Lucian getting those auto resets, or those ability resets with his passive. As that one is going to land, Fly going to get the reset there. One more auto onto Bodash should help Osama pin down a little more damage, and that's exactly what happens. No Summoner's Burn just yet. Osama not done just yet either, though. As Puffles and little baby Cutie go at it. Puffles not hitting level 6 yet. But that is the dive zone, Mr. Thiff. That is the all-in zone. Pressure being created here now by the bot lane, looking to set up for this dragon spawning right about now.
Yeah, should be a pretty easy dragon to secure. Unfortunately, they don't have a Mumu down on the bot side to actually set up a dive. I think there is a good opportunity in there if the pathing had worked out and Mumu was on the bot side of the map to actually look for a dive and really set this Victor Alistar far behind. But speaking of being set far behind,
holy moly,
Maokai is not going to have a good time against Darius.
Jeez, yeah, and that bleed damage, that hemorrhage damage, just it never doesn't suck. It never doesn't catch you by surprise, at least to a little degree. The only saving grace there was that Revnon was not level 6 yet. Otherwise, that was a very dead tree. I'm sure there is a joke we can make about Darius and being a lumberjack and swinging the axe at the tree at some point, but I don't have one yet. But, be on the lookout for that, I suppose. Yes, It's Me does find his way down to the bot lane eventually. TP's coming out from the mid laner singular, little baby Cutie taking that one back. Now the top laner burning theirs because they know, well, I'm not losing any CS, and I might have to come down to this drag, which I bet that's what we'll see. Atlas is lurking.
Oh, yeah, It's Me is super low doing this. He might just be one shot. Oh.
TP comes down. Might have to smite it here for health, and first blood goes right over to Osama. Puffles TP's down as well as falling. It's a party in the bot lane. Everyone's invited. He's able to take down the dragon. Just kind of gives them a, hey guys, great job. I got this here. A double kill for where is Osama. Not sure where he is, but Lucian is on the board with 2 kills.
Yeah, and that's such a disaster to have those 2 kills go over to the Lucian of all people. Now that the bot lane is going to be, ooh. That's a tough one. Losing the scuttle as well to the smite from Yes Hi It's Me. So yeah, not a great look from Akuma Claymores around that dragon. I think there was definitely an opportunity in there for Atlas to just hard commit with the E, right click on the Amumu, who was literally 1 auto away from death at that point, and just, sure, you're gonna die to the Akali either way, and the Maokai TP is coming in, so like your life is forfeit, but bot lane's collapsing on you. Your life, as we saw, Atlas's life was already forfeit, so he might as well have gone for the kill onto Amumu and a potential steal. But unfortunately, it doesn't work out, and yeah, 2 kills over the Lucian this early into the game is going to make Bodas's life a lot harder, which until this point, he's within 5 CS, so we'll have to see if that gap grows or if Bodas can manage to hold on.
Yeah. He's going to be down as far as CS is concerned. He's holding his own here, though, but the Noon Quiver is finished up here. The item advantage is in full force here. Revnon has a level advantage, gets the Conqueror proc and gets the kill. Can Yes Hi It's Me clean it up? I've been in this scenario right here as a Mumu way too many times, except usually I die there. Oh, I don't do that either. Flashing away here, getting the Q just out of range. If he was able to immobilize and get 1 E off, I think he might have had it.
Yeah, I mean, that was super close, honestly, from both sides. Oh, no.
Jeez, where's Osama? What a headbutt by Dark Lord Matthew! Takes advantage of the slight inted positioning to hard punish what should have been an easy trade for Osama.
Yeah, that is, and managing to give the shutdown gold over to the Victor since there was no pressure there, and they could, put the kill on who they wanted to as well. That does so much to equalize this lane. Lucian's probably going to miss a wave as well. Yeah, Fly's trying to hold it, but he can't. So Lucian's missing at least a few melees, if not the whole wave. On that, as well as giving over the 150 shutdown gold, and just again losing a lot of the pressure that was gifted to him, kind of by the rest of his team with the earlier dragon and the Akali TP and stuff. So that's honestly, like if you're in that bot lane and you're Swain or you're Victor or you're Alistar, I still think Swain's bot. But yeah, if you're in that bot lane and that happens, I mean, you're just like. It completely changes the texture of the situation. Like there's so much less pressure on you now, and I think that's like in general that's something that doesn't really get respected too much in League, like pressure and mental. Like people will talk about tilt all the time and have no problems like discussing how that might impact gameplay, but it's one of the most real like driving factors in these games, as there's a skirmish setting up in River.
Yeah, ult burned here by Atlas. Good catch by Yes Hi It's Me. Curse of the Sad Mummy does go off. Puffles trying to deal the damage needed, and Yes It's Me will pick up the kill. Lil Baby Cutie does pop the ult there. Chaos Storm chasing Osama right out of the fight. Trying to position himself well to maybe deal enough damage here. The calling is gone. Fly gonna get chased out of the fight. Lil Baby Cutie got so much healing from that ultimate. He's gonna trap the Amumu, blast him in his mummified head, and pick up a kill. They trade him 1-for-1.
Yeah, ends up being a 1-for-1, and the health bar advantage for AKC doesn't end up mattering at all because there's no actual objective. I'm not sure what the contest was. Maybe it was an extended contest over enemy blue buff or something, but like, I don't know. It looking at the minimap, it just looked like Atlas kind of wandered into enemy territory and had to ult out, and then both teams just decided, no, this is a good fight for us. We can do this. And yeah, ends up in a 1-for-1. That's honestly probably better for the Amumu than it is for Hecarim. Hecarim would rather just be alive and continuing to farm. He was actually building up a reasonably sized CS lead over the Amumu. He still has about 4 camps up, but it was more like 5 or 6 camps earlier. And this gives any situation where Hecarim isn't accelerating ahead of Amumu is good for the Amumu, right? So it's gonna be interesting to see. Hold on, I'm just checking on the item, as Revnon is definitely dead.
Yeah, I'm doing the same here. Fly is out of range of a hook, and Revnon might be dead, but he's not going to go down without a fight. He's going to take a couple down with him. All Fly can do, poor guy, is just try to kite him out. He's going to get a double kill. What am I watching, Mr. Thiff? Puffles finally ends the rampage, but Revnon reminding everyone that Darius in the right hands is really, really stupid still.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing I was saying about having champions that can abuse low range or melee champions, right? Like, as soon as Darius gets the first kill, then he can immediately apply his full stack passive to the Amumu, and that combined with an ultimate is enough to almost one-shot Yes Hi It's Me. So, and there's nothing he can really do, right? Once you're in range of that first auto, you're in range of the entire combo, the entire follow-up. So, unfortunately, a 1v3 doesn't turn out quite as well as WC would have liked, but still, I mean, being able to shut down the Darius is a good thing. The Akali, I think Puffles has low-key been having a really, really good game. He was strong in lane, pushing out the Swain, forcing the early teleport that allowed him to then abuse that teleport advantage in the dragon fight. And he's still managing to stay ahead in CS while also roaming to side lanes. So I'm excited to see what he can do in the future. I mean, like you said, there are two very clear paths to victory here, a Fed Lucian and or a Fed Akali. And so since whereas Osama kind of lost his thunder a bit with that bot lane play, maybe Akali can pick up the slack.
Yeah, that's definitely the hope. The TP is up. The next dragon taken by Akuma Claymores as they equalize on that front. Pretty even game here, but the gold advantage thanks to, in no small part, to Revnon and the havoc that he has been wreaking up top there. Like you said, abusing the range. He is doubling up, falling in CS, and then some. And look,
yeah,
it is a Maokai into a Darius. You expect the lane to go poorly, but this is rough even by those standards. 3 kills as well. He's got the mythic item finished up. Let's check in on those. And speaking of items, Mr. Tev, I think you were going to bring something up that I was watching as well. But why don't you take the thunder on this one?
Yeah. So first of all, I was just going to do a check-in on the Bomby Cinder thing. As far as I can tell, it's actually not nerfed yet.
Yeah.
The value is 15 magic damage per second right now, and the planned nerf is to change that from 15 to 12. So Bomby Cinder still fully as strong as it has been, as Bodas is getting dived.
He is getting dived on. He will get deleted. Yes, Hi It's Me throws out the bandage toss just to try to secure it. Revnon and a friend here are taking down this top tier 1, excuse me. Maybe not the best timing on that, just kind of value-wise. Darkwood Matthew with a really good unbreakable will to try to buy his team some time, but he sees the TP coming in. The calling goes out. Yes, Hi It's Me flashes over the wall. Puffles goes over the wall as well. And Atlas joining the fight here. He's going to get trapped by the Curse of the Sad Mummy. Now Nature's Grasp goes out, and Atlas going to pick up the kill out of the Amumu. He's been wanting that one for a while. Really good sustain. Little Baby Cutie is turning this fight by himself for Akuma. able to take the tower up top is Revnon. And in just a few seconds, if they can extend this fight, he can join the team with a TP, but they might not need to. Well, actually, just as I say that, they might need him really, really badly here, Mr. Thiv. Lil Baby Cute is level 11, but it doesn't matter when you're outnumbered like he was.
That was that was the ideal situation for Akuma, honestly, with how much WC was overextending for that like secondary tower dive after Little Baby Cutie like teleported down, and then with Dark Lord Matthew coming in on the Alistar, like he's thinking he can fight, and then another teleport gets committed, and like at that point with Atlas coming in from the backside, even though it was a 4v3, I thought it was like an amazing fight for Akuma Claymores, because like I said, you have the enemy team overextended, choked up in a position where they have to run out as a ball, and that's when your Hecarim and Swain can do the most damage. I mean, you literally called it out. Little Baby Cutie was just 1v3 and casually with Swain ultimate against all those melee champions. But unfortunately, I honestly feel like Atlas has been having some questionable moments of decision making so far. I don't know if it's like just nerves or what it is, but like I feel like there have been a lot of situations where he's eing forward when he shouldn't be, or eing out when he should be eing in. So just it could also be a team miscommunication thing, but he definitely is going to need to step it up, because a big part of this team's engage is based around him. I mean, Hecarim ult is like one of the most valuable team fighting tools that they have.
Yeah, no, and he's taken, I mean, not the phase rush, but the Conqueror still. So, I mean, he's been able to kind of not pay as much for his sins with that sustain. But he's got the Ghost, like you were saying, the Chilling Smite as well. And yeah, I hope that it is communication. And I would wager it is. Knowing nothing about their comms, obviously, I would wager that it is, because and I hope that it is, because this is so fixable, right? It's like, it's been the fact that these fights for Akuma are just scattered kind of, if everyone is there at even closer to the same time, you're getting a flash out of Puffles. Oh, but the ult is canceled. The guillotine doesn't go down because under the shroud, but doesn't pay for it with a cooldown. Little Baby Cutie will get taken low, but not low enough, turning it around again, but the damage this time is just too much from where's Osama. It's a 3v4 here. Yes, Hides me get chased out of the fight. Revnon, it's his turn to 1v5. He's not going to let Little Baby Cutie have all the glory, but instead he will just settle for yet another kill, probably. They're on to Falling. Yep. Yes, hi, it's me. Yes, hi, he is probably dead. Fly, good auto reset. He's going to save his Amumu and get the knock up as well. Really good stuff from him, but Revnon, he's just having fun, Mr. Thiv. Gets the headbutt assist from Dark Lord Matthew and is going to pick up yet another one. This Darius 6-1 with 2,000 gold in his pocket. Yeah, and I really like the way that he's been using that Stride Breaker as well. It's a really fun item, in my opinion. It's a bruiser item that has a dash, which is sick. Everyone wanted that. But yeah, it actually allows you to 1v9, like it's solo queue and you're the Darius from the enemy team that terrorizes everyone. No, but it really enables you to actually make plays for yourself. And also, I think in these fights, we're just seeing what I said from earlier, where it's so much harder to navigate the team fight, especially if you don't have your big, sort of AoE stun ultimates available, or you can't land them on multiple people. It's just so difficult for like 3 tanks basically to deal with Swain and Darius while also not taking a bunch of free damage from them. So yeah, we'll see how these fights continue to develop, but it feels like the writing's almost already on the wall. And yes, hi, it's me, caught out. Getting a good ult there, as far as value, but
hey, yeah, he got a multi-man ult, so there was that. We wanted that. But yeah, just
the cooldown on that is still really, really long. But yeah, I don't even know if he was level 11. It doesn't matter. It's a wasted ult, unfortunately.
Yeah, and it's also, it's just a way. Like, these are the kinds of things, like we were talking about errors that are fixable earlier. These are the most fixable errors that just really, boggle the mind, where it's like you're going for Scuttle with no knowledge of where the enemy team is, and no wards to grant you that knowledge. Like, what do you expect to happen, right? Like, it's a bit of a miscue there. But Atlas finds Fly.
Does find flies buying his team some time, and Osama whips out the calling and dodges the Chaos Storm as well. Bodash trying to make something happen from the other side of the camp, but now he's got some backup. Revnon, he's got that gap closer with the Stride Breaker if he wants it. Gonna wait just a little bit longer. Yank Fly and Puffles back. Revnon will pick up the kill with the help from a laser. Flash over the wall, getting the headbutt off, but the follow-up isn't there. Bodash has to commit the flash over. Dark Lord Matthew might lose his life here. Turns two birds, two flashes though out of Osama and Puffles, and now it's just Yes Hi It's Me saying, "Hey guys, I got the re-engage," and he's they're putting the sad mummy, Mr. Thiv.
Yeah, that was a pretty rough one to watch on the backside of the fight there. So first of all, going back to the beginning, Atlas needs to calm down. Like, the rest of his team is doing so well. He is single-handedly keeping the enemy team in the game. Like, he needs to just take a chill pill, not take fights, only follow up when his team goes in, because the rest of the team is doing great. I mean, things are going incredibly well. We're seeing time and time again, how the team fights go, but they also just look more coordinated in the fights. And again, you know, if I call out one jungler, I got to call out the other one. Yes Hi It's Me has had some pretty questionable positioning, and going for flashing for that kill on the backside of that fight is just griefing. Like, that's just, even if you get the Alistar, it's not worth your flash at this point in the game. Your flash is way more important to hopefully secure like the next dragon or whatever it might be. Now Yes Hi It's Me doesn't have flash for that critical sort of, you know, infernal soul point dragon, and so yeah, a little bit of questionable decision making on both sides, but that's what jungling is all about, baby. But I don't know. I mean, if we're looking at avenues back into the game as well for WC, I think that it still comes back to what we were saying about the Fed Lucian and the Fed Akali. Lucian now 6-2. You know, he's doing well. It's just I feel like there was like a really clear path at some point in the game when Where's Osama was already 2-0 to like continue to just hammer that home, dive bot a couple times, and just like snowball the game from there. But at this point, I mean, again, with the changes in items, I don't exactly want to make any claims about scaling, but Lucian, I mean, he's definitely not known as a marksman that scales very well, and I don't think that anything significant about Kraken Slayer or anything is going to change that. So, you know, it's nice that Lucian's fed, but I think as the game goes on, we're going to be looking more and more towards TFT Puffles as the sole hope to get back into the game.
Yeah, if nothing else, just to mix up the damage types. Yes Hi It's Me does have the Curse of the Sad Mummy back up, and there's a nice wobble that they were looking for, but Puffles is getting absolutely shredded. Bodast is free firing, and Revnod is going to take yet another kill. Lil Baby Cutie burning the ult up top, getting a kill onto Falling, trading places with his top laner, burns the flash from the Maokai. Puffles able to get the dash off, ooh, and burns the flash, does fly. Dragon up in 30 seconds. This should be more or less free. It wasn't because of the flashless Akuma, Mr. Thib. They are just too strong.
Yeah, they're just way too strong. I mean, it's the 6K gold lead, right? It's the way that this composition plays into the enemy team, and it's also just, you know, it almost feels like for the last 5 minutes, besides Yes Hi It's Me occasionally getting caught out in the enemy jungle, there hasn't even really been any like mechanism of a proactive play coming out from WC to at least get themselves back into it. So,
well, let's see what they say about that one. Okay, Atlas able to get the blast cone on out of there. Now they're going to start up this dragon. Kind of all rests on this. No flash, no Curse of the Sad Mummy for Yes Hi It's Me. Does get the bandage toss off. Fly gets absolutely schmelted. Yes Hi It's Me gets the ult off, but again, the follow-up just isn't quite there. He's standing still with everyone else. Revnod picking up another kill. They clean up 3 of the more valuable members of this squad almost immediately. The Root Lance from Little Baby Cutie, and the follow-up damage is there. Nothing that Lucian can dip, dodge, dive, duck, or dash away from. Falling will, well, you get the joke.
Yeah. That's a rough one. That's probably the game as well. It looks like Atlas is going to be cleaning up that dragon. They're going to walk over to Baron. They'll be able to get both major objectives. And yeah, I mean, there's not too much more analysis I can present. I feel like I've explained why these fights are going poorly enough times now. And again, at this point, it's not even about the compositions or anything either. It's just about how much of the map Akuma Claymores controls and how much more gold they have, and thus how much more items they have. Yep,
and I think if kind of going back to or going back and going forward to draft in the next game, something's got to be done about that top lane matchup. You know, I mean, yeah, you can stick falling on a tank. That is what he likes to do. But if you're gonna let Revnon, you know, I mean, you can only just target ban him so hard because Lil Baby Cutie clearly has prowess on this Swain. Hecarim is still very strong, right? And Bodast, if he picks the Victor bot again, a lot of the results are going to continue. And like you said, there were breakpoints at which things like this don't matter, where World Class, regardless of draft, made the mistakes that put them in the place they are now.
Yeah.
But I mean, you've got to figure out a way to play against that top side better because Revnon just took over this game by himself.
Yeah, I mean, this is a phenomenon that you even see in pro play, where a player will just be having such a struggle in lane that they will call attention to them, even if it's not like the most sort of viable game plan. And I'm not saying that falling was like, oh, I'm getting pooped on, like, please help me. You know, it could totally be a team decision, and he might have been saying, no, don't come to my lane, but they went anyway. But
that being said, that 1v3 did happen.
Yeah, exactly. Like, whatever the reason is, they sent 3 melee champs, they sent 3 tanks up to kill a Darius and lost 2 people for it instead of reinforcing dive spot. But anyway, looks like we might get some action here.
Falling goes down. Atlas with the re-engage. The Onslaught of Shadows bumps the Amumu right into the back line. TFT Puffles is all alone with no peel from the Mummy because he had to get the heck out of dodge. He knew he was dead meat. That is 2 more kills. This game is spiraling out of control. The last kill picked up by World Class was at the 18-minute mark. Since then, it has been all Akuma, rather, all gas, no breaks. They might try to end it here. I wouldn't put it past them. I think they could do it.
Yeah, they totally could. And you know, in terms of what can be changed, what can be fixed, I think Lolkeen in the chat just summarized it perfectly. What I was trying to say in a lot fewer words. Just the investment of resource. Like, it's not like this is a totally lost draft from the start of the game by any means for World Class, but after after you put all your resources towards trying to prevent Maokai from losing more to Darius rather than into the Lucian and Akali who can actually carry, then you're always going to lose the game.
They do get the pick here on Lil Baby Cutie, but they don't take care of Ragnon, and he is just going to go on a dunking spree. That is 3 in a row. Any League of Legends player who's been playing this game for more than a year has seen that happen to someone they love or them multiple times over. We don't have a support hotline for you. TFT Puffles goes right back in at Bodash with a nice stopwatch. And who else? Revnon's going to pick it up. That's the ball game.
Yeah, that's going to be it. And I think, honestly, for me, biggest takeaway is, and this often ends up being the case when we cast these games together, and I think it's fair, it's a fair sort of criticism, but fundamentals, right? Just basic things about understanding what your win condition is. I think that's where World Class really dropped the ball. Their allocation of resources was not consistent with what their win condition was, and then they eventually just got rolled by a team composition designed to destroy melee champions, and they had 4 melee champions. So tough look. I think things to fix in draft, things to also fix in game, but I think there were definitely enough moments of strength that I think we could be in for a pretty exciting game too. I don't think it was again, after a certain point, the game was just lost and there was not much else to be done. And so, it looked bad from there, but the game was close for a while. And again, I think that with a few minor tweaks, we could have seen World Class, win that game or at least take it super, super close. So I'm excited to see what they adjust, if anything, for next game. I'm also sad for you, man. I think you were really hoping, especially given that that Bombi Cinder hasn't actually been nerfed yet. I know you're really hoping for that Amumu first win, but not today, or at least not this game.
Nope. Still, I think I'm now 0-5 or 0-6 on a Mumu games. My boy will have his day, but I don't know if today's that day. It's 1 fewer game to do so. Again, this is a best of 3 in the losers semis. We'll see if World Class roll it back. Again, Bombies is still super strong. So is a Mumu. But the in-game execution just wasn't there. We'll see what changes in game 2. Akuma up 1-0 on World Class. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for being here on this Monday. We hope you're doing well and staying safe out there. I know where Mr. Thiv and I are in paradise here in beautiful, sunny Southern California. Everything just got locked the heck down. Stay safe out there,
Yeah.
and hopefully you're watching this from indoors. If you're not, look, we appreciate the dedication of watching us wherever you are. But regardless, inside, it's just better for everyone. You got AC in there, you got food in there. If you don't live in California, it's probably cold outside anyway. You don't want to be there. Let's get into it here, though. World Class and Akuma. Akuma up 1-0 here. I had my money on World Class coming into this, but I think it just goes to show you, I mean, well, maybe it doesn't, because mistakes weren't even, as soon as it came out of my mouth, I was like, no, these mistakes are just like in-game kind of macro decisions.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
felt like doomed them.
Yeah, exactly. Which is just, it's just one team played better towards their win conditions. And you could say that because of the draft, Akuma's win condition was much easier. And you'd be right to say that. But hey, I mean, they're the ones that came up with the draft. So I think what's really interesting, actually, coming to this next draft is before even talking about any of the champions or any of the bans, although we do see the Instalock Victor, I feel like so both teams so far, when they had the choice, they've chosen red side. Akuma chose red side this game, and World Class chose red side last game. I feel like, with I don't know, maybe this is some weird draft theory or whatever, but like it really feels to me like if the game is in a more uncertain state, then you want to be on blue side, because blue side is all about you just draft a self-consistent, cohesive composition that you know how to play with, and like all of your whole team is comfortable playing towards the win conditions of, and then and you go from there, right? Like red side is a lot more about reacting and getting the correct counter pick and then playing towards it properly. But those nuances like haven't really been fleshed out yet with how much the game has been changed. So it's going to be harder to like instantly. Ooh, I think that was a misdraft there that those two got locked in real quick. But yeah, anyway, the point is, it's just I feel like it's much harder to draft on red side right now. So I'm surprised that both of these teams are prioritizing it. Red was stronger before pre-patch, but or before preseason. It was the stronger side, but I think it's pretty dangerous to just ascribe to that after so many changes happened. I think you just probably want to be safe and go with blue. But again, neither of these teams agreed with me on that, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I guess, because what you're saying, I mean, I'm like, look, I'm a play-by-play guy, but I do know a thing or two about draft, and I mean, just what you're saying makes a lot of sense, right? With the game as uncertain as it is right now, as we see that the Varus on the blue side is in fact Vayne, so
there's that.
So with that, what you will, I suppose. But what you're saying makes sense, and it is interesting. I mean, they're in drafting for counter picks. In theory, it does seem like they're kind of rolling a lot of the same stuff back. We do see the Samira, and she's to use a technical term, giga busted.
She is a strong champion right now. I'm surprised to see her going through, especially given that one of the bans was Leona. I think that you can that's not even a like Nautilus's Leona is Alistar. Like they're not the same champion, but like if you're banning Leona again, unless she's like super busted against what you're trying to do specifically, which it doesn't seem like she is, then it doesn't really make sense to take off one engaged tank support off the table when there are so many others that Dark Lord Matthew could pull out and likes to pull out. But we do see the Alistar ban, so they are committing to taking him off of those that class of champions. But yeah, I'm definitely surprised that Samira went through in lieu of a Leona ban or even the Vel'Koz ban, but maybe that's more respect.
Yeah, I mean, whenever a Vel'Koz ban does come in like that, that's just a pocket pick thing.
Exactly.
Right?
He's just like, I don't want to deal with this cancerous champion. Yeah. I don't want to get trigonometried on.
No.
But yeah, I mean, we're gonna see Revenant on the Darius again. That just makes a lot of sense. We're gonna see a Ziggs in the mid lane potentially, which I don't hate. To go against the Victor if that's what we see mid, which we should, given that we have a Vayne. So yeah, I mean, you can just kind of clear your wave from range, and Ziggs is really nice because he's a non-committal roamer. Even if you're up against someone like Victor, who after he gets his E upgrade has pretty decent wave clear and can contest the shove, it doesn't really matter because you just need to briefly shove your lane, walk halfway down river, and then toss an ultimate, and you've just helped a fight immensely. So you can, he's one of those sort of artillery mages that can really provide threat without actually having to fully leave his lane, which is nice against someone like Victor. So just to get this straight, we have a team composition of Victor, Vayne, Dr. Mundo, Wukong, and Janna.
Yeah,
so
I think that is true. I see no lies. I'm staring deep into Dr. Mundo's blank white eyes. I still see no lies. And the blitz on the other side might be a hover. It's a lock-in. Oh my goodness! Wow.
I really like that blitz pick here. I think you're going against Vayne, Janna, and you already have a Samira. I think blitz can really punish Vayne, Janna, or even Victor. He's one of those champs, right? Like that. It's just once blitz gets locked in, at least half the game is just going to be defined by him. For both teams, and like do it that way you will, but that's just the nature of the champion because of how powerful and game warping his hook is, whether it lands or whether it misses. So I'm interested to see what Dark Lord Matthew is going to do, what dark technologies he's going to pull out. Also, how he's going to build the Blitzcrank is interesting because I think you have a lot more options now than you used to in how you can build him. That's true across the board in a lot of cases. Itemization in general. I mean, there's some cases where options actually went down, but in general, I think options went up for most champions. So, and especially after they do the balancing, like the numbers tweaking a bit more, I think it'll feel like there are a lot more options. So that's going to feel really nice for Dark Lord Matthew. I don't know. I mean, looking at the team compositions holistically, I guess you could see what World Class is trying to do. They definitely have a lot more tools to deal with a Darius this time around. And those same tools can be pretty useful in shutting down Samira. I think it's going to be really important to save either Wukong or Janna ultimate for when Samira is trying to go in with her ult and 1v5. Yep. So you actually have peel tools to deal with that. You have peel tools to deal with the Darius. So I mean, this draft definitely looks a lot closer. I still think Akuma's draft just ends up being easier to execute, though. Because like I said, Ziggs, pretty easy champion to play in the mid lane, a lot of free sieging, which is something that you actually lack when you take Samira. It's one of the few things that you're giving up on because she's a pretty short-ranged ADC, so her sieging can be a little lackluster, but you have a Ziggs, so that kind of makes up for that. And Amumu, very easy to execute in the team fight. We've already seen how comfortable the Darius is, and again, Blitzcrank, I already talked about how he can kind of warp the game or define team fights with just a single hook. So, skill cap on the hooks notwithstanding, I think that Akuma has drafted themselves just another straightforward team fighting comp. It's going to be interesting to see if they can break the Amumu curse and actually win with him. I'm also interested in terms of I'm 99% that it's going to be Mundo jungle and Wukong top. That just makes a lot more sense and is much better matchup for the Wukong as well. But it could be Wukong jungle. You never know.
Yeah, I'd be interested. Also, I definitely thought I muted myself there for that cough. I tried to do a new way to mute myself. I've got my little transformer box. I just whipped the gain all the way down instead of alt tabbing muting on Discord. But that didn't work. My thingy still lit up. So lesson learned. But I would tend to agree with you that I think the blitz is going to be. I mean, just the rest of the composition feels like it works really nicely. Like you said, Revnon on the Darius. You saw how comfortable he was on that. Yeah, I mean the matchups as far as Wukong Mundo, I can't speak to know either one of those incredibly well. But if you say that Wukong's a better matchup, then amen, brother. I'll take that to the bank. But I do think that in lane, right? I mean, Samira thrives with supports that can consistently lay down CC because she can extend that with her passive. So I think now it's going to be Bodast that could be really on the front foot as far as all right. We are going to snowball this lane super hard. But because and if that does get going, like you said, that CC is going to have to be saved for Bodast because that ult is still really strong.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm interested to see if the Vayne can come online after like 3 items or so, but I feel like there's just such a long way to go before. I mean, again, maybe Vayne just gets a double kill at the start of the game and then it's fine. But given a relatively even game, I feel like Samira comes online much earlier. At 1 item, whereas Vayne, I feel like it needs at least the Ginsus plus the mythic item to really get going with the silver bolts and things. So. We'll see if Vayne can pull off the 1v9 or whatever. I mean, she's set up to at least be well defended with the Janna, but yeah, it's a pretty scary lane. Like you said, it's going to be kind of a mirror of the Lucian situation from last game, where now Bodast gets to be on the front foot, gets to be putting pressure down, and we get to see like does Akuma play around that better as well? We because we criticized World Class last game for not doubling down or tripling down even on that bot lane advantage and just going for more dives there. And they instead like looked towards top side and kind of stagnated their lead, and then it was too late. So maybe we'll see Akuma kind of putting their foot on the gas and saying, hey, this is how you dive bot with an Amumu. But we'll see. Again, I think bottom line, like I really do think that these drafts are much closer. But again, Akuma kind of rode the ease of execution thing to victory last game. I'm not saying that in a bad way at all, by the way. I'm just saying like they had a easy to execute draft and they executed on it really well last game. And so,
if anything, I think that's
it's a compliment,
like,
honestly.
If you could do like it's such a simple thing to say, but to do, the more you're around this game, you realize that it is never that simple. So to do that in draft, that's a win, and then to do it in game, that's another win. That is something that should absolutely be taken as a compliment.
Yeah, exactly. So, they've drafted themselves something similar here, something easy to execute, and so I'm excited to see what they could do with it. And from the side of World Class, I'm just like I said last game, I think that there were just a few key misexecutions where they just didn't understand the win condition of their team comp in relation to the enemy team comp in time. They didn't get the pieces together in time. There was a pretty short window that they had, and they weren't able to take advantage of it. But that's fixable. I mean, that's something that you can, like, first of all, like when the game is happening, that you like as soon as that play happens top lane with the Darius, like it's going through all, like these aren't bad players. It's going through all of their heads. Like we really should have not come here at all, and we should have been investing our resource into the bot lane, and then that bit them in the back again, because then they like overcommitted on a dive later on in bot when it was already too late, and all of that. So yeah, I'm just really interested to see World Class actually coming out with a more cohesive plan, being dynamic with the state of the game, and like actually playing towards whatever way they can win based on whoever's strong. Just a little bit crisper decision making, and I think they can make it a really, really close game and even take it.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought up being dynamic with the state of the game, because like we just praised Akuma for what they did in game one, as far as just look, they knew their condition and executed it. They drafted themselves into a nice spot, having a dynamic kind of backup plan A, plan B through Z. That is what separates the good teams from the great. The game is never over till it's over, unless there are a couple exceptions, but
unless it's over, but
unless of course it is over. But if it's not, then your dynamism is what is going to be your boon or the death of you. We're going to take a quick break here. We've rambled on long enough here. We'll get into the game in just a couple minutes here. Akuma up 1-0 in this best of 3. If they win, they take on Aqualix in the losers finals. The winner of that will then take on, you know what? I'm not going to waste any more time. I'll get that when we come back. Omega Gaming, thank you so much to our producer, Kai, for getting us there. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Game 2 in the best of 3 between Akuma Claymores on the red side and World Class Esports on the blue side. 4x4 and Mr. Thiv here with you. Kai on the producer desk. There is a desk. There was a cat also, is what I was told. So give some love to Kai's cat in the chat, everybody, for helping us do what we do. Big thank you to y'all for being here. In week 1 of the preseason, we've seen. I don't know. The more things change, the more they stay the same. Macro, at the end of the day, will win you more games than any shenanigans that can be abused, especially at this higher level. Both these teams are here for a reason. And that being said, speaking of just kind of throwing things out the window, how about this comp, Mr. Thiv? All right, with all this lag, go off. Tell me about this comp for World Class. Mr. Thiv, if you're talking, you are muted.
Thank you.
There it is.
There I am. Well, let's think about this comp, because it goes back to what I was saying many times in draft, where it just feels like, just like last game, World Class has drafted themselves a comp that is just so much harder to play in later team fights than the enemy team's comp. Like, you have a Darius and a Mumu, a Ziggs, and a Samira. It's very clear what they're all going to be doing in a team fight. You generally want to have a bunched up team fight for those champs. Ziggs also benefits greatly from the enemy stacking. So sure, you want to set up fights in choke points, maybe get some picks with your Blitzcrank or whatever, but that's how fights are going to go. On the other side, it's like, what Janna needs to be worrying about so many different things, and so many ways to get people off of the Vayne. And so Fly's not going to be able to do that alone, right? You need the coordination with the Wukong ultimate. Like, Falling is also going to need to have a lot of discipline, because unless he sees like a perfect opportunity to engage, you almost want to save that Wukong ultimate for the counter engage, because of the strength and potency of an Amumu ultimate, plus a Darius getting all over your backline and things like that. So if Victor and Vayne can stay safe in team fights, then they're Victor and Vayne. They'll be pumping out more damage than even Ziggs and Samira can hope to do at a greater range. But we'll see if that actually ends up happening, because there's a reason that I keep harping on ease of execution. It really matters a lot. Like, you don't want to be worrying about like how to play your specific champ or how to coordinate your specific skills. That you want that to be second nature in a team fight, so that you can worry about the things that actually matter. But
especially
when
with the game how it is right now,
yeah, exactly,
it's so unpredictable. But a move game to throw advantage toss. He didn't even take a point into it. He saw that Puffles was pushed way the heck up. But those are these summoners. They'll relieve a little bit of pressure on Living Cutie. An advantage toss gank from a Mumu. That's not bad.
Oh.
Ooh, and there's a really nice hook right onto where's Osama threads the needle, but the blue side bot lane does hit level 2 first, so they're able to trade the damage right back. Bodas able to get the Conqueror stacks up. How about that? Right at level 1, really nice auto weaving as well from the Akuma 80 carry, excuse me.
Yeah, but looks like he missed out on XP from like a minion or something, so that's why he wasn't actually able to hit 2 for a while there. And even if he wanted to take the trade with his Conqueror fully stacked, he wouldn't actually have been able to. Yeah, some nice trading, honestly, going on in both side lanes here, as Rednon and Falling get into it a little bit. Even in the mid lane, little baby cutie tossing out a cheeky W there. Oh, another hook though.
And Dark Lord Matthew, he's been on point 2 for 2 with those so far, and able to put out a little more damage there onto Fly. No summoners burned on either side. Actually, that's a lie. Dark Lord Matthew did burn the Ignite right there. Yeah, I was going to say, I'm like, he didn't start Executioners because that's impossible. Like, I was wondering where the Grievous Wounds came from. Infected Cleaver out, the Jungle Mundo. Yes, hi, it's me, was on the Amumu previously. Like I said, I'm 0-5, or the Amumus that I have casted are 0-5. So, look, I'm going to stay professional and unbiased, but just know that I definitely have a bias in this game.
Well, you're probably feeling pretty good at this point. Amumu has a little bit of a camp lead that he was able to extend over the Mundo. It's not like Yes Hi It's Me is going to have a very efficient time farming his jungle in the early stages, so that's something that Amumu can actually abuse a little bit. It's a very different texture from the previous matchup where Amumu was the slow farmer versus the Hecarim. Now he's taking advantage of his faster clear speed than the Mundo to get in on those enemy raptors. Obviously, also having the prio from Ziggs pushing the wave in. So I like what Atlas has been doing, getting a little proactive. He went for the mid lane gank, but there's a top lane gank.
And Revnon all inning here. Does burn Falling's flash. Infected Cleaver's going to miss, but now a TP coming in here. Little baby cutie. Going to join the party here.
Oh.
Galestorm does land another great hook. Separates Fly completely from his AD carry, but somehow might be able to get away, question mark. Hi, it's me, burning the flash, picking up the kill there, as Bodas picks up the kill on the other side of the map. Little baby cutie flashes away, picks up a kill, but not before he goes down to Falling. 4 kills in about 6 seconds on 2 sides of the map. That's what I want.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I want. I mean, I do like that. As soon as you, I mean, that's like jungling 101, right? As soon as you recognize that the enemy jungler is doing something, aka Mundo making a play topside, you need to do something with the time that you've just been given and the information you've just been given. So Atlas decides to go bot lane, grab some kills for the Samira. Now, that being said, he didn't actually end up getting an assist, so, you know, that maybe he did less than I thought he did. But either way, he was in the right place at the right time, at least. So yeah. There's that. But yeah, I guess I'm kind of trolling. He didn't do anything. I'm surprised that he didn't get an assist. I thought he landed a skill shot in there somewhere. But anyway, I definitely digress. The top lane, though, is actually something that's worth talking about, because for once you have a real pressure point against the Darius. Like, Wukong's 1-0 and 1. Sure, he's down 10 CS, and sure, the gank didn't exactly go the way you would have wanted it, but you got out the Ziggs TP as well as the flash. You got out the Darius flash, and you know, your Wukong's in a position to actually contest with this, you know, one-trick Darius over here. I'm just kidding. Revnon's a great player, but he really does like his Darius.
Yeah, that he does. I think it was over 1 million mastery points on champion. And that's, again, those are just numbers. The numbers don't lie. Do with that what you will. No real play being made on Dragon just yet. Yeah. Has been up for a little bit here. Atlas.
What?
Trying to take... Oh. Wrong team, bud. I mean, he does chase Falling into, you know, and make him go the wrong way. Revnon is level 6. Does get the slow there. Nice little juke attempt there in the tri-brush, but I think this should be a pretty dead monkey. Revnon on the board with his first kill.
Yeah, really nicely done. You know, we said Revnon doesn't have flash. Well, Falling also had to burn his flash in the previous play, so it's pretty easy for Amumu to just walk up there. And even if he misses the bandage toss pretty egregiously, Atlas can help out. Now, that being said, every jungle play has an equal and opposite reaction. That's what I learned in physics class. So Mundo's able to pick up the dragon on the backside of that fight. I don't think that's too much of a disaster either way. I think both teams are going to be happy with what they got out of the last few minutes of play. But now let's see if Yes Hi It's Me can maybe get a little more. He's waiting pretty opportunistically. I don't know that this is going to work.
Yeah, I was waiting for that cannon, exactly. Was waiting for Dark Lord Matthew to commit to getting that support item charge off, and the Typhoon's not going to land, just out of range there. Good W to try to keep his teammate alive, but will go down. Atlas there does have level 6 now. I don't know if they can 2v3 this, but they're certainly going to try. In goes Atlas. This is going to... Ooh, yeah, okay.
Nope. You were really building me up for something that didn't happen there. I was really excited for the Amumu pop-off play that we've both been waiting for, but unfortunately, Atlas gets warded away by a cleaver. So the reason I originally called that Yes Hi It's Me wouldn't be able to get anything there was, like, I saw him setting up for the cannon, but there was also a missing ping on the brush where he was standing from the red team, from Akuma. So they knew that he was there. I think they probably, you know, Dark Lord Matthew probably just thought that he would be a little greedy. He'd be able to sneak in, grab the cannon, and still have time to walk away from the Mundo, but Fly was pretty
Mundo
on point.
Goes where he pleases.
Exactly. And I will say Fly was pretty on point with his tornado, just making sure that Mundo could land the cleaver, and then, you know, guaranteeing the Vayne condemn as well. So well done to the bot lane. Now there's still a 20 CS lead on the Samira. Bodas is still definitely the aggressor and like in the powerful position in this lane, but that's going to do a lot to relieve the pressure now, being able to get a kill onto Dark Lord Matthew as well as the dragon.
Yeah, and that dragon, I didn't turn on my objective timers, that's why I can't freaking tell. That'll do it. There we go. Yeah, still another 3 minutes until that Drake, so we're going to get either a Cloud or a Mountain Soul at the end of this. But yeah, I do want to go back to what you're saying about the top lane and ask you about this, actually, because it popped up in my head. I guess you can get Conqueror stacks on a Wukong clone.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah. You totally can. You can even get Dark Harvest stacks off of it as the blue buff transfer goes through. Yeah, you can like anything that works on a champion will work on all clones, just so that they are more convincing, I guess.
Yeah. No, I mean, and that makes sense. And I mean,
Yeah.
it kind of works to the
No, it doesn't make
just
sense.
out of range. Oh boy. But does finish him off there with the hemorrhage damage. Atlas gonna buy Revnon a little bit of time here, but Mundo does go where he pleases, drops the smite on him, and burns the flash of Atlas. That is one very sad mummy. He's gonna flash away. Doesn't even matter. Look at all that regen. He's making hemorrhage look like a buff.
Wow, that's it's a really unfortunate one for the mummy. Mumu really just can't catch a break when we cast him.
No wonder he's scat all the time. Oh, what a hook! The cleanse comes out. Now, it wasn't even cleanse. That was just a sidestep and a heal. I thought he hooked a minion there. That was a really good hook there from Matthew.
Yeah, able to weave it in there. But unfortunately, it just burns out the heal. And honestly, like I think Matthew's been hitting the hooks, but the amount of conversions that he's been getting has been very low. Like he's hardly even getting summoners because of the situations in which he's hooking, and because of some good play from Fly.
Yeah, he does get hooked in, and the Howling Gale is going to go wide right. The Infernal Trigger, that is the CC that they are waiting to drop on him when he does do that. Yes, hi, it's me. Might go down here, but he might take someone down with him, knowing what Mundo can do. Does get yanked right back by Revnon, and the shutdown kill goes over to the Mummy. That is a break that he needed.
Definitely needed that break. He's going to use the opportunity to go counter jungle enemy Krugs as well. And unfortunately for Akuma, they're not going to be able to convert this fight into a dragon, which I think they really would have wanted. It's still a minute away from spawning. I mean, they're going to get some nice pressure in the mid and bot lane off of it, and some nice vision. So hopefully they're going to be able to actually convert, but Atlas maybe overstayed on the Krugs.
Yeah, the counter jungling is it is an exact. It is an inexact science. Able to get himself bandage toss out. The wave was there, nice and stacked. Delivers it to Bodast, and he should be able to farm most of this pretty nicely. I don't know. Checking in here, couple mythic items completed. That Immortal Shield Bow feels really good on Samira.
Yeah, it's gonna be really nice.
Stride Breaker is up and running on Revnon. And I think on this back, Amumu should be able to complete the Aegis. So a couple big items starting to come online here.
Gore Drinker for Wukong as well. He's going for the more the greedier path. I think that Gore Drinker makes a lot of sense compared to Stride Breaker in this position for Wukong. So I actually really like. Oh yikes!
Oh, you hate to see it, but he still got the hook, and he lands it onto the vein, and he will go down. The Curse of the Sad Mummy strikes once again. That is another kill for Bodast, and Lil Baby Cutie not going to be left out of this one. Against himself, his second kill of the game. Got that up to S, not going to pull the Infernal Trigger is Bodast. Instead, just zoning falling right out of the fight burn, the flash burn, the TP, and they will get a dragon out of this. Akuma on the front foot.
Did I say yikes? I misspoke. I was saying that was an incredibly calculated flash from Dark Lord Matthew that really set up the team perfectly.
I was confused.
Yeah, no, I mean, like that being said, the hook to start the fight was actually perfect. Like he weaved it through two people to get it onto, I think, the Jenna or maybe it was where
he got it onto Osama. Yeah,
exactly. And then the fight was just over. Vayne got hooked, and it's all ogre from there as the rest of the team can just come in and collapse. And this ties into what we were saying about the execution thing. It ties into a couple of things we were saying. It's the execution thing, and it's the blitz being such a game defining champion kind of thing. Where if that hook goes poorly, then there's a world where you actually lose that team fight because of the reinforcements coming in from World Class. But since he hit the hook and everyone was there to follow up, then it just is so much easier. And then the ease of execution thing, the follow-up is so much easier following up on a blitz hook rather than needing to A, get creative to start a fight, and then B, get creative to actually deal damage within the fight.
Yeah, no, it was very well executed. Landing a blitz hook in and of itself is not is not an accomplishment. It's not necessarily a good thing. Able to pick up the kill there. Yes, hi, it's me, Lil Baby Cutie. Dealing some damage on his way out, but a big steaming pile of shutdown gold over to TFT Pumples. That is his first kill, first anything of the game, and it's gonna feel kind of nice. He's got the boots there as well. I mean, that is the enchanted footwear start there, but he is able to pick up his Ludens. That item is really strong. Kind of the for a lot of your standard kind of go-to, control magey guys, as Atlas has to burn the ult, and a nice little bandage, or I should say blast cone out. Yes Heights Me is absolutely monstrous. Does pop the ult there though. But all I have to say, Luden's kind of strong right now.
Yeah, kind of. Luden's kind of hot right now, for sure. Both of these mages have it. We also see. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. Like if that happens to you, you just got to make sure that it doesn't get into your head. You got to keep looking for those. But if someone S-key jukes you at the very end of your hook range, you're gonna be sad about it.
Yeah, actually. Falling, taking a whole face full of hemorrhage stacks, and he gets beat over the head with an axe to boot. 3 kills still for Revnon. It has been a quiet game for him, and he still is putting on a show right now.
Yeah, and this is honestly, what can you even say? Because I think that World Class this time around actually played around it, really well from what I could, from draft. They send the Wukong up top, which I think is totally fine into the Darius. He gets armor from his passive and stuff. And then, they even supported Wukong with an early gank onto the Darius, and then quickly pulled away. And those are all the things that I was kind of looking for them to do to give Falling a chance to contest Revnon's Darius. But fortunately, after all that, it's still just Revnon kind of lane king to me.
Yeah, Yes Hi It's Me doesn't have his ult up just yet. The sadism will be up as he goes down, and Atlas able to pick up the revenge kill there and burn the flash, but does trade his own. Able to set up here and get a nice little shove here onto this mid lane tier 1, which is, well, yeah, you love the Ziggs siege potential, but right now, I mean, just looking at the level and the CS disadvantage, actually, CS isn't even that bad. Yeah. Ziggs up 2 kills. How is he down 2 levels there? That was odd.
He was about to ding over. Let me make sure nothing happens here. Yeah, he was about to ding over to the 1 level, and then it's entirely off of the solo kill, right? He probably lost a wave or 2 of minion XP from the solo kill, so. As well as Puffles, I think, getting...
He got that shutdown earlier.
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh, Atlas just in time with the clone. The W out makes the ult fruitless from Atlas. Just milliseconds separating success and failure on that play. But still going to get a couple counter jungle camps out of it. Yes Hi It's Me. Just missed him right there. They did get the scuttle there, which is certainly going to help with that kind of control. Dragging up in 45 seconds here. It seems like little by little, Akuma are taking away at this, and Yes Hi It's Me has been doing pretty well here. But again, it's that execution and like that. Like you talked about in the draft, I think you said Janna has to worry about so much, and that is what this entire game feels like.
Yeah, it's just there's so much more to worry about for everyone on the side of World Class. No fight is going to be straightforward. Like your Fed character is your Mundo. He has no actual hard CC as a frontline tank. Your main team fighting tools are Janna ult and Wukong ult, both of which you want to use to get Darius off of your backline. And then you have a Vayne, and so.
Wow, Fly and Dark Lord just traded Qs back and forth, and the damage got absolutely blitzed onto Fly.
Yeah, if Fly's been pretty cavalier about not caring about whether he gets hit by the hooks or not, and like early levels it was kind of okay because Janna's shield, does a lot of work. But at this point, I mean, you're just gonna get instantly one shot if you ever get hit, or else you're gonna have to burn the flash. So yeah, Fly definitely gonna need to try to stay a little more out of harm's way. I think he's honestly been taking a few hooks that he really could have just dodged, and it's been punishing. It's not as easy as level 1 and 2 when you can just shield all the damage.
Yep, maybe trying to get cheeky here, able to sweep her away that ward, but they're thinking the better of it as both Revnon and Bodast approach without a wave. They go, smells fishy here. Able to drop the control ward down there. They definitely sense that something is up. Yeah, Dark Lord's going to eat that up, but they will get a tower out of it nonetheless. Just the second tower taken down this game with a gold lead at 6K.
Yeah, gold lead at 6K, and it's just kind of a similar story from before, honestly, where, oh, nice tumble, where you have Akuma just, from draft, like we said, easier to execute, whatever, but then they're playing to it. They are just playing the map better, and they are organizing team fights better than World Class. And that was the case last game. That's been the case this game, and it's kind of like what we were saying about, draft is cool and all, new items are cool and all. None of that. What really matters in a game of League of Legends is like how you're actually playing the game of League of Legends, and the macro has just been so much better. Both the macro and like the decision making has been so much better for Akuma so far. So I think that's why we're seeing, just gradually, even though here and there some skirmishes might not go their way, because again, World Class still have the mechanics. I mean, they still have the skill level, but it just seems like the cohesion is so much more in Akuma's favor.
Yeah, no, they really have, they've looked like the more cohesive side. Atlas going in, getting a hard CC there onto Puffles. That is big. Yes, hi, it's me, gonna pop the ultimate, but defensively, putting the sad in sadism. Atlas re-engaging there with a bandage toss. Ult not gonna find anybody where Osama eats most. Where's Osama eats most of it, but it has to tumble out of the fight. Atlas has his flash and a little bit of health left. He's got the, I'm not sure if he burned Aftershock on that. I imagine he did, but they're gonna shift their attention over to the mid lane.
Yeah, gonna be able to shift over to the mid lane and take. I mean, like, I hate to call a game at this point, but that's kind of when right? If you're fighting the enemy team in River 4v2 and they kill one of yours and get out, and then you're not willing to re-engage on the 4v3, seeing their Fed Darius spot, then like, what other chance are you gonna get, right? Like, that was probably the best possible situation for a potentially winnable fight for World Class, and they they weren't able to take it. So whether they thought they weren't strong enough or whether they thought there might be a better opportunity later, but I mean, the clock's ticking. Like, the better opportunity might never come.
Yeah, exactly. Condemn into the wall. Bodast is down, pops a W, Chaos Storm up, and now hey, yes, it's me. Looking to put the chase on Dark Lord Matthew. Atlas is there with the re-engage, has the ult, gets two, just one off it, and the ult goes out from Janna, but it does darn near nothing. Yes, ISB has enough healing on his own, and Osama is down. That's a double kill for the Mummy. He looks like he's fast-tracking towards his first win under my watch. Kill does get returned onto him, though, by Fly, of all people. But it is a 3-for-1 at the end of the day. They should be able to take down this tier 2 tower, maybe start sniffing that inhibitor. Dragon not up for another minute 45, though.
Yeah, and honestly, I thought I caster cursed that situation because I was like, that a better opportunity might never come.
I thought they were hosed.
Yeah, they literally had a 5v3 funneling onto the enemy carries, like the squishy enemy carries, and they still weren't able to win that fight. And there were a couple reasons for it. I mean, we don't get a replay, so I can't like slowly break it all down. But I hate to say it again, but a big part of it was literally just the difficulty of execution. There needed to be like that Janna ult was not great. There needed to be like a perfect Janna ultimate as soon as they laid down all the damage onto the enemy carries and got them to like 10 or 15% health, and then Darius is coming in from the backside alongside a Mumu. I think that's when you need to Janna ult in the middle of the sort of choke point to get people off of yourself and your carries, as well as like actually heal up a reasonable portion of your team. Then maybe you can win that fight, but oh.
Ooh, here comes. That's a lot of shielding there from Fly, but Osama is put down from across the map. Little baby cutie, nothing cute about the way he's playing this Ziggs. It is terrifying. Yes, ISB has to pop the sadism. Flashing in and away. Puffles and Atlas trade the summoners. Yes, ISB just trying to kite away here. Buy his team some time. Death Laser does go out, or Death Ray rather, from Puffles. Another hook just gonna miss there. But the threat of the Blitz is just as powerful as anything else that this team has to offer right now. Atlas building the demonic embrace here. For those who don't know, 70 AP, 350 health. Really, really nice. And that is just, like when Amumu's last season would build Leandries. That's a mythic item now. You can't really do that. So you just go, Sunfire, and then this is your damage. He's just going AP Amumu. He's got his little damage. And now
well, I mean, it even gives you resists, right? Like, it gives you health, it gives you resists, and it has, like, the burn and stuff. So really, it's
really
just
nice AP
a perfect item for Amumu, yeah. I think, this is a big part of the reason why he's strong, right? We already talked about the Immolate passive being very, very strong. It's going to get nerfed or hotfixed soon. But then it's not just that. It's also what is called demonic embrace, enabling him so like that item is just perfect for him. He does everything that he wants it to do. So yeah, I think that Atlas definitely going to be feeling good on his 2-item spike with the Bramble Vest as well, just in case. I'm not even really sure why he has the Bramble Vest. I feel like there's probably a better item than Thornmail here. They're kind of
Maybe.
You're in such a strong position, and Vayne is so far away from being relevant. So,
Yeah,
but either way, I mean, it doesn't.
Maybe
really
it's just
matter.
for Mundo, but I mean.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Mundo's going to be dealing just as much. Well, I guess actually, yeah, I should take that back because I don't know, like, I don't know exactly how Grievous Wounds itemization works anymore. So maybe there's just not because it's if you're an AP user, it's just the orb, right? Oblivion orb that applies Grievous Wounds as like a component item. Yeah. So that in that context, I guess Bramble makes a lot more sense for this Amumu than going for an Oblivion orb and building it into something. So yeah, my bad. New items, it's hard.
Yeah. I think at this point it's just look, Amumu is your main tank. Blitz is doing a lot of work. And he's got the Locket online as well, and the Locket gives everybody else resistances, and that's great. But Amumu is your tank. He's got 5 kills. Mundo is going to have to touch him, right? That's always the trade-off with you. Bramble is like, oh yeah, Grievous Wounds. It's like they don't have to attack you if they don't want to, but he's going to have to. Puffles gets silenced, halfway down to blown up, but throws out the Chaos Storm pretty much immediately. The CC is just too much though. Bodass dashes right in, can pull the Infernal Trigger, but the damage is just too much. He waits it out, gets a little bit off, but not enough. Big shutdown kill here for Falling. 2 for 1, trading back and forth here. Yes, hi, it's me, just trying to sustain his way into a kill. Atlas gonna pick up that kill, though. How about it? I'm not saying it was the Grievous Wounds, but I'm not saying that either.
Well, I'll have to go back and watch the replay to see if Mundo even autoed the Mumu at all. But you know who does have an Oblivion Orb is Ziggs. So so the Grievous Wounds, whatever the source was, definitely put in work there, not allowing Mundo to tower dive. And Little Baby Cutie still almost died. Yes, hi, it's me flashed onto him to get the last auto, but he didn't quite get it. And that's like, I don't know. I mean, we're seeing some pretty decent signs of life. Like, for example, in that fight, I thought the Janet ult actually worked out pretty okay. But there's 2 things, right? First, there's a 10k gold lead that you need to somehow overcome in this upcoming Mountain Soul fight. And second, I just foreshadowed it, but yeah, there's an upcoming Mountain Soul fight in 2 minutes, and you do not have the items to contest that right now. So again, it needs to be just an out execution, and I don't know. It's just from the start of the game, I've just felt like this world class like lineup, like this draft that they have it's just so hard to play, and it's not getting any easier. To their credit, like I think they've been slowing the bleeding, but they're still losing all these fights. Even that was a lost fight at the end. Like sure, they almost won it, but
it was better.
Like it was much better, but we'll see. I mean, Vayne is now almost at that Ginsu's. I think that's a pretty important power spike because right now the difference between Samira and Vayne is just disgusting. I mean, Bodas has had shield bow for a long time, and he also completed the Bloodthirster a while ago. So the amount of sustain he has is Dark Lord Matthew.
Yeah, he's just face tanking that Chaos Storm as the ult does miss here from Lil Baby Cutie. Will they have a shot here? Curse the Sad Mummy goes out. Yes, hi, it's me. Re-engaging down onto the fight. Bodas buys himself some time with a stopwatch. How about that from your AD carry? Falling, taking some average damage, and with the execute is Revnot. Gonna pick up the triple kill. Buffles has to flash out. Good W from Bodas as well. Not gonna pull the Infernal Trigger. And they are going to start up this Baron with the percent health from Amumu. With the Bomby Cinder. With all this damage, they should have more than enough to take it down. Also want to call attention to something real quick here. Thornmail, not the Bramble Vest, but the Thornmail itself. Immobilizing champions applies not 40%, 60% Grievous Wounds.
Wow. Okay, so that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense as well. I didn't know about that new passive. That is awesome.
I didn't either until I scrolled over just now, but that's nuts.
Yeah, that's sweet. So yet another reason to build that item on Amumu. I mean, we already established that it was a good choice, but that makes it even better. That's awesome. Now that being said, that fight was a rough one because I think it literally went as well as it possibly could have, like in terms of just the ability usage. Like I was just mostly paying attention to the Janna ult and where they locked people down in the choke point with the Victor W and layering the Wukong ult on top of it. Like they did everything, and then at the end of the day, the enemy team only was at half health because they have 3 Mountain Dragons, and now they have Mountains.
And Revnon flashes away. That is a big old shield coming in. Falling. Please tell me that's the clone. That's not the clone.
Yeah.
Rodas able to pick up the kill here, looking for the follow-up onto Puffles. Atlas able to land the bandage toss. Getting those grievous wounds on. Yes, hi, it's me. Might be bought a little bit of time here. Pops the sadism a little while ago. Good Howling Gale. Ooh, and a minion gets in the way of the bandage toss from Atlas. Gonna help clean that up. 3-level difference between the Amumu and the Mundo. They're pushing for the win here. Revnon's just playing with his food. He's gonna get condemned into the wall though, and that, okay, he deserved that, honestly.
Yeah. I still think the game is probably over here. Yeah,
so
yes, Hi, It's Me goes down. That should be it. Thank you, Chorus Lola. I missed there was the perfect execution in that team fight, except for Vayne flashing into Darius and Amumu. So, there's that'll do you. Honestly, I think that Akuma just. I mean, hold on. Let's see if they actually end the game here. Yeah, they will.
There we go.
So, really well done to them. First of all, I think they just played better. Like, I mean, sometimes it just be like that, right? Like I can talk about execution and like fancy words and stuff, but Akuma just played better League of Legends here. Not to say that World Class didn't put up a fight or didn't have some really strong moments, but I think especially through Revnon, they really. Akuma really just had the more cohesive draft ideas and executed on them better, and that'll win you a lot of games.
Yep. Yeah, and at the end of the day, you saw what that was able to do in terms of snowballing whatever lead they did build up, right? When the jungle gap started to widen and when Revna started to come online, because like you said, it wasn't like they went down without a fight. In fact, I think, given the situation that World Class kind of drafted themselves into and how the early game went, they played it pretty darn well.
Yeah, they really hung on.
Didn't draft themselves into said situation. So,
yeah.
But hey, first Amumu win I have ever casted. So
hell
that's
yeah.
super hype. Akuma walking away with a 2-0 win here. They will move on to the losers finals against, and I forgot it again. Kai.
Oh yeah, it was Qualix.
Qualix against Omega Gaming Silence. All right, so yeah, Qualix will be awaiting this winner. I think that'll be a best of 3 as well. That'll be next week, and then the week after, grand finals, baby. In the winners bracket entry and enter E. That's what I meant by entry. They get a 1-0 win, or they go into the best of 5 with a 1-0. So
wow, okay, I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah, I agree. I think it is cool. All right, so that'll do it for us here. Mr. Thiv, any final thoughts here? I feel like we've kind of said what we needed to say, but I'm gonna give you the floor here for a bit.
Yeah. I think we said what we needed to say. Thank you to everyone for watching, for participating in chat, all that good stuff. Flaming me for my lack of knowledge of the new items. I do apologize about that, but yeah, I had a lot of fun, and I'm really excited to see where these playoffs actually end up.
Yeah, and see if Akuma again. They were the 6th seed, got bounced in the first round of the playoffs, but seem to be riding a couple of really strong picks here. Revnon on this Darius, Atlas on this Amumu, Amumu in general. I mean, I guess we'll see if, after the hotfix if he still retains that power. But hey, that's why you got a whole free week to scrim, get those solo queue games in, etc. Big thank you to my color caster today, Mr. Thiv. Big thank you to Kai and her cat, hindrance or help. Either way, for helping us put on the show here. To Joe up top, there are definitely Joe stands in the chat at Esports Demos. I see you. And yeah, next 2 weeks of playoffs should be bangers. We won't be here for any of them, but that doesn't mean you should it's any less reason for you to tune in. For everyone I just mentioned, I have been 4x4. Thank you so much for being here. Happy Monday. Again, Akuma, take it 2-0 in the best of 3 over World Class. We'll see you next week.